All right, so yeah, I just woke up. Want to fight about it. Tatty manager, the caddy manager. Listen, so I was just listening to this report about a teen who threatened the sheriff in Atlanta over the YSL, members, Young Thug and Gunna, and the teen is faced with 23 felonies. They won't all stick. They're going to get him for a few. He'll probably be in there for about 5 years for making those threats, right? Might do more. He made him to the sheriff and the sheriff's wife. Let me tell you why they, over indicted him for one. It's an over indictment. But this is why they over indicted him, because they're hoping something will stick. So he might be in there for a few years, but he ain't going to be in there forever. And listen, even after they had the teen arrested, more threats were coming into the sheriff. So there's a bunch of people who are threatening the sheriff, threatening his wife, his kids, whoever, because of YSL. This is another reason why the prosecutor, was talking about all the proffers that were against YSL, because some of the people who were arrested with Thug and Gunner were like, listen, this dude is for real. Like, this dude he'll have, us off. He'll have our family off. Like, this guy is no joke. If you ever seen, Young Gunner in a crowd, you'll know that dude, he don't play, he just doesn't. And nobody plays with him. Nobody. Even Charlemagne the God was like, listen, don't run up on this dude, because he's serious. He don't play no games. Now, when I was living in the ATL, I was living in Decatur. But you have to go into Atlanta and all this other stuff. While I was living down there was a sheriff and another guy who was running for sheriff. So the sheriff was up for re-election, and then there was a guy running for sheriff. Both black men, right? What happened was the sheriff was, done with his, duty that day, was coming home. There was a dude who jumped out the bushes and bang, shot the sheriff, but he didn't kill the deputy, but, shot him, off the sheriff. Once they started investigating who did it, they found out it was his rival, the dude who was running against him. And this is just for a job in Atlanta. This is for the job of sheriff. This dude had the sheriff hit. This is why they over indicted this dude and anybody else who are making threats, because it's real in Atlanta. It is real. If somebody makes a threat like that blatantly, and they're doing it on social media, you do not take that lightly. You go get these people, you lock them up, you make sure your family is aware, you arm yourself to the teeth, because no, not in Atlanta. You don't go, it's just kids playing around. No, they really do this in Atlanta. That guy jumped out the bushes, got him. That guy is done. And then they did a whole investigation. When they found out that it was the sheriff, they found out because the sheriff was knocking off his secretary. He was having sex with his secretary. And the secretary, when they found out, the whole thing with the secretary, and I think the sheriff was, the guy who wanted to be sheriff was married. So he was having sex with his secretary. And so they used that against him. And they made the, secretary roll over. And she was in the paper. They had a big old picture of her in the paper saying that this guy made, had her doing like this. This is what he said he's going to do to the sheriff. Bang. And once they saw that, they got that dude for premeditated. It's murder one. Now, I don't know, what the trial ended up being, but that's the very definition, premeditated, murder one. And then that was just that. So they got him. And I'm sure whoever the secretary was probably moved out of the country because, no, if you got guys jumping out the bushes to kill the sheriff, then I know you're going to have me knocked off because I just told on you. But, it's either that or I'm about to do time, but I'm not about to do time because I didn't do any crime. So I know she left. That's what I'm saying. So you don't take these threats, especially the YSL gang. I don't know their history, but what I do know is that if you live in Atlanta and somebody threatens you, you do not take that lightly. It's your boy Tone 202.